All right, welcome back. We are live from North Conway Village. This is White Mountains Today. I'm Chris Prue, and I am joined by Yohann Hanley from the White Mountain Trail Collective. Thanks for coming on this morning.
Great. Thanks for having me, Chris.
I hope you enjoyed the beautiful views out there. It's a great weather day.
Yeah, it's coming. I got to move back to the valley last June, and it still surprises me. You know, come around that corner on North-South Road, and there's the Presidential Range just laid out for you, and you kind of almost want to pull over, but you know, on my way here, I didn't want to be late. So.
Yeah, on a morning like today, too, the sun is just hitting it just right, so that mountain just seems bigger even than it does any other day.
For sure.
But it makes you almost want to, you know, when the mountains are this bright, they just kind of call to you, as I believe John Muir famously said.
Yeah.
But there's a lot that goes into looking ahead into the summer hiking season.
Yes.
That goes into getting our trails ready or maintaining them for hiking, because they're very heavily used.
Yes, they are.
And they don't maintain themselves. So you're here to talk about what you guys do at the White Mountain Trail Collective. So give us a little bit of overview. What is the Trail Collective? Where did you come from, and what do you guys do?
Sure. So the Trail Collective, we're currently a pretty small nonprofit organization, and we're the brainchild and the work of many years of labor of trail maintainers here in the valley, from the Saco district of the National Forest, the AMC, the RMC, and a lot of other volunteer groups. And the idea is to pool the resources, pool the knowledge base, and the legacy of trail work that's been going on here in the valley, to share that information, share those resources, and get more people involved in protecting our trails.
Why is it necessary to protect our trails? Isn't this an ecosystem where they just magically kind of sustain themselves year after year?
No, the White Mountains is known to have some of the steepest, oldest trails in the country, and we have high annual rainfalls, which erosion is the biggest killer of a trail. And so in terms of trail maintenance, there's different levels of things that you can do out there. Level 1 maintenance, think of like the oil change and tire rotation of your car.
Yep.
We're cleaning your drainages, we're cutting back brush, we're fixing the blazes on the trees. Just that real basic level of maintenance that keeps the trail open and accessible and inviting to hikers to use.
Yep.
If the trail's not inviting, hikers are going to deviate from the trail, which causes damage to the rest of the environment.
Yep.
And then moving up from level 1, you have level 2 maintenance, where you might have to rebuild some of those drainage structures or the staircases that everyone sees. And the staircases aren't there. Those were put in place by hand by teams of dedicated workers over the last 100 years here in the valley.
And every time I see those, I am absolutely in awe of some of the work that is done on these trails, away from a workshop, away from your miles out into the forest, sometimes on very rugged terrain. Yeah. So. Yep.
And those workers, they're living in the woods typically 6 to 8 weeks of the year, working by hand, with basic hand tools, rock bars, pickmatic, shovels. Yeah.
And then is there even trail work beyond that, like level 2 stuff? I imagine there's a lot of man-made erosion that happens over the course of the year too, because these are some of the more heavily traveled hiking trails anywhere in the country, really.
Oh yeah, for sure. One of our major projects this summer is working on the Glen Ellis Falls Trail.
Yep.
Which is a historic trail here in the valley. It was one of the first trails that was kind of established by the AMC. The trail as we know it today was really built by the Civilian Conservation Corps in the late 1930s and has been that ever since then.
Right.
So we'll be partnering with an organization called HistoriCorps out of Virginia, which is going to come in and do some training for us about how to build in the CCC style. And then we'll be partnering with Northwoods out of Vermont to bring a crew over and do a major rehab on the Glen Ellis Trail this year.
That's fascinating, because if you've been to Glen Ellis Falls, you walk down, it is a beautiful fieldstone pathway basically all the way down to the falls. So restoring it is not something maybe that's done so easily. Like you said, you really need to be conscious of the style that was used during the CCC period.
Yeah, exactly. And then some of our other major projects this summer, we're partnering with Ride NoCo and White Mountain Nimba, and doing 2 machine-built bike trails over kind of in the Cranmore Mountain area.
Yep.
And that's to increase capacity for their trails. It's adding a couple of connector trails to allow people to park at the base of Cranmore and access the base of Hurricane Mountain, and then to go off the top of Cranmore over to the Blackcap Ridge, separating. There's a trail that's currently hiking and biking in both directions, and we're going to be separating the downhill biking into a separate trail.
Wow, what trail is that?
The Cranmore Connector, also known as the Cranmore Mountain Trail, depending on whose maps you're looking at.
Yep.
So.
All right, so great work being done. So it's hiking, it's mountain biking, it's everything, and I heard you're also doing some work over at Cathedral Ledge.
We are, yeah. We're partnering with the Access Fund and the AMC on that project, and that is taking trail work that was done about 20 years ago or so now, some large wooden and retaining structures at the base of the thin air face, and replacing them with stone structures. You know, wood is great and it's a easily moved commodity, but it lasts 15 or 20 years when you put it in the ground. So replacing it with stone structures, that'll probably be there for 80 to 100 years at the minimum.
That's fantastic. So does the White Mountain Trail Collective, does it need help? Can people volunteer to work with you guys? What are your needs?
We do need help. We need help with volunteer days in the woods, and all the organizations up here need that as well. The AMC runs amazing volunteer programs. The RMC runs volunteer programs. The National Forest. And so we would encourage folks to look at those programs as well. Yep. We will be hosting volunteer days this year. I don't have any dates firmly set today. When we do have them, they'll be going up on our website, wmtrailcollective.org, and also on social media sites that are associated with the Trail Collective.
All right, and if you need some incentive, I understand you guys are doing an amazing raffle with a partner.
Yeah, so McDonald Motors Ford has graciously donated a truck, so a Ford F-150 or $25,000 cash. It's the winner's choice.
Wow.
We are selling tickets. They're $250 a ticket. There's only 500 tickets being sold.
Wow.
And the raffle will be on June, I think, 6th, which is National Trails Day, and it'll be part of the big outdoor festival that's going on here in the valley that year, or this year.
So if someone wants to buy a raffle ticket, how do they do it?
If you go right onto our website, again, wmtrailcollective.org, a big pop-up will come up right on the thing, and it says to win a Ford F-150, click here. So.
All right. We've been talking with Yohann Hanley of the White Mountain Trail Collective. Anything else you want to get out to our audience this morning?
I would just say, you know, if you're coming here to hike, to ski, to bike, to climb, to recreate in these woods, just remember it takes a lot to keep these trails open and going, and donate your time, donate money, donate whatever resources you can to those trails. We appreciate it.
And of course, use them responsibly yourself. Always keep erosion in mind. Practice leave no trace, and keep these trails in the same shape that you found them so everybody else can enjoy them as well.
Yeah.
All right. Yohann, thank you so much. Again, White Mountain Trail Collective, wmtrailcollective.com. .org.
Yes.
And again, thank you for all the work that you do, and thanks for coming on this morning.
Great. Thanks for having me.
You're watching White Mountains Today. We'll be right back.